Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to do the north wall wiring. Okay, so in addition to doing the wiring, I got to drill all the holes, install the boxes, pull the wire. I have to get my blocking in at the top of all of these bays. Got to remove this insulation, which kind of sucks. I really don't have a place for it. And I got to get the lights installed. And basically with those, it's just, well, I can show you this later too, but let me try to get this open. This goes through the ceiling, and the only thing that gets installed right now is this little box. So I need to find out exactly where those lights are going and get the boxes installed, and then when we install the ceiling, just like upstairs, we'll drill, well, in this case it'll be a 6-inch round hole, and then you just pop the lights in there. Okay, so pull the insulation out. I got to mark where I'm going to do all the drilling. We have one circuit. Let's see if I can remember how this goes. We have one circuit that's going to be this box here, another box there, and a box there. We have a circuit going to a heater right here. We have another circuit that's going to 2 outlets here. We have 2 switches going here. One is going to be connected to this for the porch light, and the other is going to be connected to the ceiling lights. Oh, and that's going to be a 3-way, so it also has to be wired to a switch over here, which is actually going to be in the other room once we add the addition on. So what I'm going to have to do is run the wire, coil it up, and then just temporarily install the switch over here, and then we'll run it through the wall and do the final wiring when the time comes. Yeah, I almost forgot about that. And final thing is the smoke alarm, which, well, I'll read what they say about placement, but in this case I'm thinking real close to the center of the room. Yeah, a lot to do. Yeah, this will take all day, and then the next day I should be able to get this whole thing insulated. That'll be a long day as well, because we have a lot of narrow bays. This is narrow, this is narrow, narrow one here, there, and a bunch over here. We'd be able to insulate all the way to the door opening. So yeah, that might even be more than a day. These are fairly complicated openings. Okay, well, let's get to work by pulling the insulation out, and we'll get this blocking in first thing. Alright, I got all that insulation out, got it fairly neat over here. I had to go cut some more blocking. I didn't have quite enough, and now I gotta pull this compressor out because I'm gonna be using that, and as soon as we're done, it's going right back where it is, because that would be in the way big time. Yeah, I wonder if I can, I don't know. Looks like I'm gonna have to pull it out over to here. I can't plug it in right there. The plug is actually under this hatch in the floor. Soon we'll have electricity right on the wall though, so we'll be able to patch that up pretty soon. Alright, let me pull that out and we'll get going on this blocking. So. Okay, got these all done. All I did was put a bead of glue on the upper face and the face of the panel, and then I used a finish nailer to nail it up into place. Well, when I put the stick in there, I rubbed it around to spread the glue a little bit. Then I nailed it up into place, and that's going to hold it where it is until the glue dries. This right here is not glue, that's caulk. We need to seal that up 100% because there's tiny little gaps at the corners and stuff. Well, actually, you can't see it on that. It's clear caulk. This will dry clear as well. So at any rate, that's all done. I had to run across the street to get the nails, and it looks like I have to run across the street again. I gotta screw these in, and that T60 bit, oh, actually I put that away too. The T60 bit is in the machine shed, or is that T50? One or the other. The bit's in the machine shed, and the impact driver, the 1/2-inch impact driver, is in the wood shop. So let me go run and get all that stuff. We'll get these fastened down and then start drilling holes for the electric. I don't know what the heck I was thinking, putting this stuff away. All right, 50, 50, 50. This is 50, I believe. It's the only one that's all scarred up. Okay, I got all of my specs in, and you may notice that I have these sill bolts that are actually holding the sill down to the foundation already. These have been in there for 20 years. I pulled one out, I believe it was like right where the door was or something, but I pulled one out and it was down to about half. They get corroded by the treatment in the wood, and these were only, I believe these were 5/16 to start with, and there's 1, 2, 3 of them on this wall, and yeah, there was one, oh no, that's right, there was 1, 2 on this wall, and we had a door here. Oh, that's what it was. There was, how was that? At any rate, oh, I must have pulled it out in the back here, one in the center. But anyways, they were a bit chewed up from age, so now we have even more fasteners in. They're longer and they're larger, so this is not going anywhere. Okay, what next? Oh, this is where the original electricity came in. I'm going to try to get that foamed up. I've been using this big gap filler that I used on that gap over there. You can use this if you just pick this stuff off. You can generally reuse this for a good while, but it might not work. It says right on the can that you can reuse it for up to a month, but reuse is not guaranteed. Or does it say? Oh, it does say that on there. You can reuse it up to a month, but reuse is not guaranteed. I got to get that filled though before we cover up this wall, and with any luck, once I get the wiring through here, I have to fill this gap, and this gap. So hopefully I'll be able to use a little bit of that on these. I also noticed while I was putting these spacks in that I missed horribly on the nailing of this back wall. I must have wrote something down incorrectly, but it missed on pretty much every one. I mean, some of the nails are holding this. It's obviously held in place, but a ton of these nails are doing nothing. So what I'm going to do, these are okay. I'm going to foam that, but I can't leave these hanging into the opening here because they'll make the insulation tent. I'm just going to cut these off with the cutoff wheel, and when I get back to working on the new part, the addition, I'll re-nail this entire panel. Yeah, it's a bummer, but really needs to happen. Okay, what next? Oh, drilling holes. So my wire is going to come up through the header here, and then down and into the bottom of the box, and then it'll come down the wall. Well, actually, how is that going to go? Is it going to go straight across? No, I believe it'll come down, go through. I got to drill holes here and here. I got these pre-drilled because like these two holes right here, I would have never got in there. Even in this bay right here, I probably wouldn't have been able to get at these two holes. And it's going to be kind of the same with the holes in this. So I'll drill the hole here and drill the hole here, and I'll use a long spade bit, put it through the hole, and then chuck it up and then drill through that. Yep, never as easy as it looks. Hopefully I can get this done today. I can at least get the bottom boxes done, but I should be able to get the whole thing done. Unfortunately, when you're drilling holes through these studs like this, occasionally you hit a nail. I've hit a couple so far, and I actually ruined one of my bits, and I didn't have another one to replace it, so I had to use this old junker. I had this in my junk drawer. It's just really old and dull, so I really had to force this stuff to work, but I got it done. And this is what I was talking about. Got to go through over here and like that. This bit is a little bit dull as well because of hitting nails, but it'll get the job done. Hopefully it'll get the job done. I have 2 pieces of wood in 1, 2, 3, 4 places, so it's going to be kind of a chore with this older bit. Okay, all the boxes are in, and we have quite the mess here. And basically all of my drill bits that are the right size for drilling through these studs, they're all really, really dull. So I'm gonna have to pick some up when I'm in town tomorrow. But the holes through here for the lights, I can use a little bit smaller bit because it's smaller wire. I got the lights laid out as well. What I did was took a clamp and put it in the position where I figured the lights would be. You can divide the ceiling by 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then it's 3 over to the end. So I put a clamp in each one of those positions and measured about, well, exactly 30 inches out. And then I put 3 clamps in, and then I talked to Natalie, and while we were talking, I was looking right here, and the clamp was just a little bit offset from being centered on this opening here. So what I did was measure the opening, got the center of the opening, and then made the lights so that they're the same distance out. But what I really wanted her for, if we put a light at each one of these locations, on which side of these joists does it go? If you put it to the outside, that leaves a bigger area in the middle that doesn't have a light in it. And if you put them to the inside, that kind of tightens up all the lights in the middle of the room. She also had the option of putting like a light here and then going to the same side of the stud over here, put the light here. So what we finally came up with is to put them to the outside, which would make them closer to the front and to the back. And we had a few reasons for that. If you put them all in the center of the room, I don't know, I think it would just look kind of weird. I believe it would work either way, but I think having it to the outside is just going to be better. The light will bounce off the white walls and the white ceiling. There'll be plenty of light. We just want to make it look nice. So that's what we came up with. So I started marking this. Got one right here, and if you didn't see the last episode, we just got to disassemble this and get that box in there. And then when we put the ceiling up, we have to make it so that we can find this pigtail, and we got to make sure that it reaches them. So the hole will be drilled right up against this, and that box will have to go off to the side a little bit. So I got to figure out what that offset and stuff is, and then we'll take our little bit, and what we're going to do is wire from this one to that one, and then drill through to the one over here, and then go to this one, and then we'll go back and down to the switch. Good bit of drilling, but I have a bunch of bits that size, so if that one's a little bit dull, I'll just go get another, and it should go relatively quick. Okay, got a little bit of an issue, but I got it figured out. These boxes are too big to mount on the joist here. They kind of fit exact, but the screws would be in the way and you wouldn't be able to get the light up in there. So what we're gonna do is mount it like this up on the ceiling. I'm not sure if we're gonna be putting any insulation in the ceiling or not. I don't think so. We have plenty of insulation in the roof. So this is going to be centered like this, and then once the hole is drilled right here, you'll be able to just open this. Probably can't do it one hand, but the top opens on this, and you do the wiring in there. So yeah, that's going to work perfect. And then the light goes, where do I put, oh, there we go. The light will have the cord like that, and will go right there. So it's going to work out perfectly. But The one problem is that the ceiling is pretty thin, so I think I'm gonna get some 1/2-inch OSB and just cut some squares of it, and then I'll glue that on right here. I'll take some short screws that aren't gonna go through this and get it all glued up and screw that up there, and then once the glue dries, I'll take them screws back out and then I'll screw the boxes in. But in the meantime, I can get all these holes drilled. Okay, I got all of the holes drilled down here, except for the ones I need a new bit for. I need to drill a couple holes here, a couple here, and some down there. I'll be doing that tomorrow. Well, actually, in 2 days. I'm running to town tomorrow for materials, and I'm gonna pick up that bit and another bit for doing the regular holes, or another couple bits. You run into nails all the time and it just destroys the bit. So I usually have 3 or 4 of those on hand, but unfortunately I ran out of those. So I'm getting all the bits and all that stuff, and the next video on this will be me drilling the last of the holes and then pulling the wires and getting all of this wired up. I believe I'll be able to get the lighting done as well. I don't know. It'll be a big job if I do. Maybe I'll pull an all day and produce the video the next day. That's the only way I can do that. Otherwise it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 hours to produce the video. So what I have left today is to caulk the sill plate to the wall panels, and then I'm done. Let's get that done real quick, and we'll talk about the water project, which is also coming up. I'm getting materials for that in town tomorrow. Alright, I got that bottom edge nice and sealed up. No ants are gonna get in there, and no air is gonna leak into the cavities through there. Yeah, this is gonna be really nice. So, like I said, the next video in here is gonna be me pulling wires, but we're gonna have a ton of videos outside real soon. I think I'm gonna wait for the really hot weather to go away, work in here during that, and then I gotta get out there. I actually have to dig a trench for the electrical and connect with this big trench out there. I don't know how much of it you can see, but that's the water trench right there. I gotta run water lines, electric lines, and we have communication lines coming in, and I'll be doing a gray water line. So a lot of work to be done outside as well. So if you want to see any of that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.